Om Sri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Sri Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Om Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam. Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om everybody. We welcome you to today's session with Swamiji. And before I invite Swamiji to take the session, Shalin bhai, I request you to please pin Swamiji and put the spotlight. Just 1 second, Swamiji.
It's done.
All set?
Ji.
Yes, Swamiji, all yours, please.
Om Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Samasta Jana Kalyane Niratam Karunamayam. Namami Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Sadgurum Brahmavidvaram. Sorry, we saw last class, beautiful verse, Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahutam, Brahmaivatena Gantavyam, Brahma Karma Samadhina. In that highest yajna, Bhagavan Krishna said, everything is Brahman. See? So, Brahma Karma Samadhina, one who is absorbed in the action, which itself is Brahman, Brahma Karma, Brahma Samadhina. He says everything. We saw exhaustively last class, that everything is Brahman alone. Other than Brahman, nothing exists. The wave, foam, leather, and different types of waves, bubbles, higher wave, bigger wave, smaller wave. All the waves are nothing but, in essence, water alone. Right? So one big wave is swallowing small wave. Actually, what is happening? Water swallowing water. What is swallowed is water. Swallowed by a bigger wave, which is water. Supported by the ocean, the water. See? And after swallowing, what they become? Water alone. So, highest realization is Brahman alone. But what the Jagat, what we are seeing, is Mithya, appearing at Jagat. We can say Maya is making us see the world as world, or making that Brahman appear as a Jagat. Think. So, highest one, This is the highest spirit of yajna. Yajna means any sacrifice. Now, here afterwards, Bhagavan Krishna speaks very famous portion in Bhagavad Gita. 12 yajnas he gives. 12 yajnas, not one or two, but 12 yajnas. Something is offered unto something is called yajna. So lower is offered unto higher. So every time the yajna is constantly going on in the Jagat. So as a spiritual student, whole life, we saw in 3rd chapter, whole life must be converted into yajna. Whole life is yajna only. So how to do that? How to bring that kind of attitude? Think. How to convert all our actions into yajna? So this is a topic now, which we are entering into from 25th verse. Daivameva pare yajnam
Daivameva pare yagyam
yoginah paryupasate
yoginah paryupasate
brahmagnava pare yajnam
brahmagnava pare yagyam
yajnenaivopajuhvati
yajnenaivopajuhvati
Daivameva pare yajnam yoginah paryupasate brahmagnava pare yajnam yajnenaivopajuhvati. Now see many yajnas. Now we have to listen very carefully to this portion. Very carefully. At every level, so let us spend some time, at every level of our lives' interactions and every moment in our life, our living means experiencing. We are experiencing what? Experiencing the sense objects, and sense organs are involved, mind is involved, ego is involved, buddhi is involved. So in and through all our life activities, how to convert everything into an yajna. It's a beautiful portion. Very beautiful portion. So from 25th to 34th verse, Bhagavan Krishna gives various yajnas praising the knowledge. Ultimately, and every yajna is a discipline. And every discipline is a sadhana. So we bring in various sadhanas in our life. Krishna calls them here as yajna, yajna bhav. Because in those days, the fire ritual is very common. It was very common. And everybody would know. In every house, they used to perform yajna. So Bhagavan Krishna wanted to bring that this yajna, which is happening outside as a fire ritual, offering dravyas unto fire, is also happening at multiple levels in all of us. Only thing is, we have to convert all those transactions into yajna. So there are spiritual sadhanas, disciplines prescribed. Around 12 yajnas are given by Bhagavan Krishna. And every sadhana is what? Yajna. We know dhyana yajna, tapo yajna, upavasa is one yajna, japa is yajna, swadhyaya is yajna. See? So any yajna means what? It actually purifies us. And in all yajnas, Bhagavan is involved. Without bringing the Lord into the picture, nothing can be called as yajna. Because all yajnas are dedicated unto Lord. Everything is dedicated unto Lord. Think. So therefore, Lord is involved. So in fact, cooking is yajna. Walking can be yajna. Walking meditation. Buddhists have this kind of, they go for long walks, walk slowly with full awareness as a group. They walk. But total observation on every moment they are living, so much they live in the present. Walking, cooking, sweeping the floor can be yajna. So eating also Bhagavan Krishna called as yajna only. Aham Vaishwanaro Bhutva. Raninam Deham Ashritaha. Bhagavan Krishna said, convert eating food also into yajna. So whether it is a lowest, grossest work that we do, or the subtlest thing that we do, everything can be converted into yajna. That's why Gurudev called it as what? Jnana yajna. Jnana yajna also comes in this 12 yajnas. Brahma yajna is jnana yajna. Jnana yajna. So jnana yajna is superior. And all other yajnas are lower than that. They're all necessary. They're all useful. They all help us evolve further on the path. But they all should eventually lead to jnana yajna. Why? Only jnana yajna, it directly takes us to Brahman. All other yajnas take us to jnana yajna. So I follow any yajna, I reach jnana yajna. What is jnana yajna? We'll see now. Everything defines. Yajna means simply understand a sadhana of something is offered unto something higher. The lower is offered unto something higher. Invoking a deity. So, like for example, the darkness is there. To remove darkness, we need to light a lamp. So we go and fetch a lamp, not the light up lamp, the diya. We fetch that. Then one yajna it is. Getting a lamp is one yajna. Pouring oil into it, another yajna. Dipping the wick into it completely, another yajna. And making the wick sharper, another yajna. Going for matchbox and bringing it, another yajna. All these are all actually in the process of removal of the darkness at various levels. But they cannot remove darkness. But they are essential. Why? Real lamp, when you lit, that alone can remove the darkness. But that cannot be lit unless there is a diya, unless there is a oil, unless there is a wick, unless the wick is beautifully sharpened. Sometimes we put camphor also on it for quickly to catch. Then we go for matchbox, the means to light the lamp. They all come under yajnas only. But what is that yajna ultimately which removes darkness is light. But can you bring a lamp without all these things? No. Similarly, all yajnas are necessary, but eventually they take us to jnanam. So jnanadevato kaivalyam. In and through all these paths, actually, what is happening is, what should happen? Purification of mind and dropping the ego. This dissolving the ego. These two are to be done. Purifying the mind first, and eventually dissolving the ego. So in all jnana yajna, bhakti yoga, in all yogas, something is afforded to something, yajnas mein, so that ultimately the divine is realized. So jnanam is the final step. Jnana means this is recognition that there is no difference between the Ishta and me. We are identical. Identity, not identical. Identity, wrong word I used. Not identical, identity. This is between Jiva and Ishvara. That identity is discovered, and that discovery of identity, dissolution of ego, without which identity cannot be discovered, and that is called ultimate realization. That is called jnanam. And that alone gives you mukti, liberation. Rest all other yajnas are all preparatory yajnas, which are absolutely essential. So having said this, in this sloka, Krishna enumerating various yajnas. Okay. We will take up there are two yajnas mentioned here in 25th verse. One is Daiva Yajna, second is Brahma Yajna. These two are extremes. In BMI chart is there, Gurudev's BMI chart. If you can imagine, recall BMI, PFT, OET. The subtlest yajna, I'm very spending a lot of time in this. The subtlest yajna is what? The superior yajna is what? Supreme yajna is what? Other side is Brahma yajna. And the lowest side is what? Daiva yajna. In between Daiva yajna and Brahma yajna, many yajnas are put. So in this sloka, 25th, Daiva yajna is told, Brahma yajna is told. The rest of the yajnas are all coming in between, which will be enumerated by Bhagavan Krishna. The A and Z was told, Z or Z was told. Right? So, let us take first Brahma Yajna, second line. No? Brahmagna vapare yajnam yajnena eva upajuhvati. Supreme yajna, ultimate yajna is what? Brahma yajna. Brahma yajna or jnana yajna is what? Constantly offering our ego unto the fire of Brahman. constantly. In yajna, what do we put normally in fire yajna? Oblations are offered unto fire. Now, what is the fire here? Brahma. Brahman. Not Chaturmukha Brahma. Infinite Brahman. Unto that fire of Brahman, Supreme Yajna is what? Constantly offering one's ego unto the fire of Brahman. So, in Bhakti language, it is called Atma Nivedanam. Atma Nivedanam. In other steps of Bhakti, Navada Bhakti, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnoho, Archanam, Padanam, Padasevanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakhyam, Smaranam, Kirtanam, Shravanam, Smaranam, Kirtanam. All these bhaktis are mentioned, steps. In and through all other stages of bhakti, the ego is intact, ego is being purified. Ego is taught to respect, to revere, to devote to Paramatma. In Atma Nivedanam, this ego itself is given up. It's called total, unconditional surrender in Bhakti language. In Jnanam, because of the sadhana, maturity of understanding in the seeker, he is constantly offering his ego unto the fire of Brahman. So he becomes extremely subtle and denying the very existence of himself as separate from the Lord. That difference is created between the God and Jivatma by the ego. So that ego is constantly offered unto fire of Brahman. So I become extremely awake. So what Shankaracharya says is, to know, Bhagavan Shankaracharya commentary says, to know conditioned self as identical with the unconditioned Brahman. To know the conditioned self is identical with, one with, essentially same with Brahman. When the conditions are dropped, the space in the pot and the space outside the pot, there are no two spaces, but actually one space. The pot space, I am calling it as the space as pot space, meaning space conditioned by the pot is called pot space. So when I recognize this, I cannot be divided. Why? I am the subtlest, all-pervading, one without a second, space. I am not in the pot, pot space claims. I am not in the pot, but actually pot is in the space, in me. So this understanding, identity, recognizing it. Thus the ego, which is separating me from totality, is constantly offered unto him. In Bhakti language, total surrender. In Jnanam, the ego, little ego, which is false entity, dancing, as though it is really existing, that is offered unto fire of Brahman. This is called highest yajna. When can be offered? 24/7. In every activity, every time, the ego keeps on rising. Patiently, I will offer that ego unto Brahman. Non-stop. In olden days, you must have seen elders. Coal engine, railways. And to make that engine move, plenty of coal one side is kept and the burning inside, creating that steam engine. So what does he do? The drivers used to do? Constantly take the coal, put it in the fire. Take the coal, put it in the fire. Take the coal, put it in the fire. So they must keep the train running. Similarly, constantly this ego. That's why yajjat karma karomi tat tadakilam shambho tavarathanam. Tvamevaham, tvamevaham, tvamevaham. Actually, I am not there. Naham asmi. I am not there. You alone is there. So this is constantly can be done 24/7 in all our vyavahar, denying your existence, separate existence from the divinity. You deny yourself. So when I deny my existence separately from totality and constantly remembering the Tattvamasi Mahavakya, this is called Brahma Yajna. Brahma Yajna. The ego is a material offered unto fire of Brahman. So this can be achieved through study. When you're studying also, ego is being offered. Highest yajna. Think. So what is the second one now? We'll come first line. The first line is Daiva Yajna, Brahma Yajna superior. Daiva Yajna first step, last step. In between all the yajnas will come, as I mentioned already. So we saw first Brahma Yajna. Highest, Brahma Yajna, subtle Yajna. Superior, supreme. Think. It's a very beautiful thing. When you go and ask a bhakta, what have you offered to God? He keeps quiet. He may not answer. Why? He says, I myself am not there. What can I offer then? Offerer is me, ego. That stuff is not there. So what can I offer to anybody? There is nobody else other than me. There is no offerer to offer. I don't know offerer is the word is there or not. Ego is not there. Giver is not there. So what can I offer? So first में क्या है? दैवमेव अपरे अपरे दैव यज्ञम पर्युपासते योगिनः अपरे योगिनः. Other yogis perform दैव यज्ञ because Jnana Yajna is difficult, subtlest, and one has to be too subtle and highly qualified to do this yajna. Highly qualified. Therefore, we are all at various levels. That's why, Vedanta classes, audiences are always less compared to other classes on Purana and stories, Ramayana, Bharat, Mahabharatam, Bhagavatam. That too, in morning classes of Gurudev, it used to be very, very less crowd. Why? Gurudev himself used to say the very serious high text Upanishad class. Even the beginning, earlier days of Puja Gurudev, he would announce those who are study group members alone are allowed to participate in the next morning yajna, otherwise don't come. So to Brahma yajna to do, qualification is necessary. Very rare people only can do this Jnana Yoga practice, Brahma yajna practice. In other yajnas, various Daivatas are, the two meanings are this, Daiva yajna. Other Daiva yajna means what? Normally a ritual, a Vedic ritual, Daiva yajna. One meaning of Daiva yajna. Vedic ritual. Where we see when the deity is invoked, want to propitiate the deity, the fire is lit, dravyas are brought, ritviks are brought, arrangements are made, and yajna is offered, Daiva yajna, to particular deity. Ganapati, Chandi, Krishna, Rama, Shiva. Yajnas are offered. The one meaning. Second meaning is Devata. Devata means what? Indriyas. Jyotanat Devaha. So who are Devatas? In us, Indriyas. So in Daiva Yajna, what is offered? Careful listen. Sense objects are offered unto the fire of sense organs. So when I see a form, normally I am not aware of yajna here. The thought that this yajna is going on, we can call it as Rupa Yajna. I can call it as Rupa Yajna. Because the form, Rupam, has offered, that object, sense object is offered unto the fire of the sense organ. So in the eye, Indriya, sense organ called eye, the fire of Evahi, Netra Evahi, eye, in that fire, sense object called perceiving the form is offered unto eye. Sound is offered unto the ear. Smell is offered unto nose, the fire of nose. And something is offered unto fire of taste. Something is offered into fire of touch. So now what's happening? In the waking plane, all types of sense objects are coming and constantly dropped into sense organs. Just as when you, listen very carefully, please. Just as when we put material in the fire, ghee in the fire flames, more flames come. It blazes forth. Suddenly, put swaha, swaha. So sense organ is a fire. Suppose eye or nose or ear, sense organ. Sense object is Shabda Spasha Rupa Sagandha. So objects are falling into the fire of the sense organ. They are offering themselves. The objects are offered into fire of sense organ. So the particular indriya, that particular indriya pull jata hai. The moment a person, so constantly yajna is going on. Indriyani indriyartheshu. So tattvavittu mahabaho gunakarma vibhagayoho gunaha guneshu vartante iti matva na sajjate. Gunaha objects. Guneshu vartante. So these sense objects come and they fall on the respective sense organs. This yajna is natural. I don't have to do anything. It happens. But what am I to do? I am not attached to them. I'm just witnessing the process of this yajna, unstoppable during waking plane. Sound comes and strikes the tympanium of your ear. Form comes and then falls on your retina. Smell comes, goes into your nose. Touch also comes and touches you. You will get the knowledge of that sparsha. Anything, whatever you have put it on tongue, coming in contact. So in the daytime, constantly the experiences are happening. So Krishna says, treat them as a yajna which is going on. Sense objects are constantly dropped onto the fire of sense organs, respective sense organs. Respective sense organ. So continue going on now. Swaha, swaha, swaha. So what does yogi do? Yogi knows, I am not this, neither sense object nor sense organs. So he observes it, he withdraws. Let the yajna continue. But there is no requirement of my involvement. I am witnessing it. It is constantly going on. Without my effort, I can listen to sounds. They fall. When I open my eyes, without effort, the forms come and fall into my eyes. So each indriya is coming and swaha. Form is coming swaha into eye. Sound is coming swaha into ear. So the yogi, what does he observes it? This is going on, okay. So he is not interested to do anything in that process. It's going on. Where he needs to involve, that's okay. But he treats this as yajna which is going on. This is called Daiva Yajna. So one is, other side of the spectrum is Brahma Yajna. Lower side is Daiva Yajna. Hope you are understanding it. So what Krishna says, third chapter, Nityam Yajne Pratishtitam. Yevam pravartitam chakram na anvartayite agaya nandriyaram mogam parsadijivati. All that Krishna told. How to live in Yajna Bhava. Third chapter we studied exhaustively. So how do we convert whole life into Yajna? Whole life is sadhana. So I am treating everything as my Yajna. Yajna. So next verse we'll see. Srotradinindriyanyanye
Shrotradirindriyanyanye
samyamagnishu juhvati
Anyamagneshu juhvati
shabdadin vishayanyanye
Shabdadin Vishayanyanye
indriyagnishu juhvati.
Indriyagneshu juhvati.
There is no dirgha, indriyagnishu, samyamagnishu, not gnishu. Okay. Srotradin indriyanyanye samyamagnishu juhvati shabdadin vishayanyanye indriyagnishu juhvati. Now, other levels of yajna which is going on. Now Krishna says, first one, Srotradini indriyani anye, others. Srotradi indriyani. Now, first हमने पहले बार क्या किया? Sense objects are now ahutis. The first one, previous case. In Daiva Yajna, we saw sense objects are ahutis. Ahuti means offering material. Offered into sense organs. One yajna. Now, sense organs, Srotra Adi Indriyani, all the five senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue, skin, Indriyas, are offered what? In the fire of Samyama Agni, the fire of self-restraint or self-control. In that fire, all the Indriyas are offered. See, so how does mind goes through sense organs and then it reaches sense objects. So sense objects are dropped into sense organ as yajna, that one yajna is over. Now sense organs are dropped into the fire of self-control, samyamagni. In that fire of self-control, fire of restraint, these indriyas are dropped. Beautiful thing, isn't it? So what is happening now? When sense organs are controlled in the fire of that self-control, so what is happening? Sense organs are dropped, offered, offering themselves on their own accord, they fall. They fall where? They fall into the fire of self-restraint and they get burnt. They get burnt means what? They become ineffective. They can no more reach the mind and disturb the mind. Otherwise, what is happening? If there is no sense of control, fire of self-control, self-restraint. So Indriyas now listen, just imagine. Indriyas, sense objects are outside. Objects are here. Indriyas are here. So Indriyas gather sense objects. So sense objects are reaching this Indriyas. One yajna is, in the fire of sense organs, objects are falling. They are not reaching inside. Very good. Second yajna is what? Sense organs are offered into fire of sense control. They are offered there. When they are offered there, they get burnt up. So they are not reaching the mind to disturb the mind. In our case, what happens? Sense organs directly go, because there is self-control, no? Because there is no self-control, each organ goes directly into the mind. Each perception reaches the mind and agitates the mind. Why? I did not put anything fire in between. Now the fire I put, they have to cross the fire of sense control. But they cannot. In the fire of sense control, organs come, indriyas, sense indriyas, they try, but they become ineffective. They cannot carry the data to the mind. So, Srotradini Indriyani Anye Samyamagnishu Juhvati. And this is called what? Damaha. Indriya control. Otherwise, it's called Dama. Damaha. So, the sense organs are not able to cross something called fire of self-control. To reach the mind, portals of mind, arena of the mind, zone of the mind, and disturb the mind, agitate the mind. So every sense control is like a check post. No sense organ can enter, bringing a sense object. Eyes bring the form, ears bring the sound. So no sense organ bringing the respective sense objects are allowed directly to reach the mind without going through a check post. The check post is called self-control. See, my dear. So they fall, they burn there. They offer, they get burnt up. That's called Dama. Now, anye, what does do Shabdadin Vishayani, anye, Indriyagnisha Juhvati. Others, what they do? Sense objects, what? They reach, what? They reach mind. Sense objects reach mind. Second line I'm talking. Shabdadini Vishayan anye Indriyagnisha Juhvati. So sense objects are there. They reach mind via the sense organs. But here, which is Indriyagnishu. So here what is happening? In the objects of, they offer the sound, etc. In the fire of the senses, Indriyagnishu, Juhvati. So here, Bhagavan Gurudev says, second is called mind control. Why? They are offered in the, they fall in the fire of Indriyagni, but they are not reaching the mind. Mind withdrawn here. Second case, mind is, first is sense control, second is mind control. So, mind is sense objects offered in the fire of the senses. But what is happening here? Mind is withdrawn completely, totally. Mind is turned away. Since it is turned away, Gurudev says, mind is made non-receptive of external sense stimuli. Mind is made non-receptive of the external sense stimuli. Why? All the sense objects which are there, Shabda Adi, etc., are offered in the fire of Indriyagni. So little differences, little. Kaina when all this phenomenal process is going on, somewhere you have to put a full stop and offer them in the fire. Daiva Yajna, if you take ritual, something I offered, ritual ho gaya. Brahma Yajna, superior. Sense organs, sense objects are offered into sense controls, Indriyagnishu, Samyamagnishu. Now the other sense objects are offered into Indriyagnishu. Offered. That's why I gave Daiva Yajna two meanings I gave. One is ritual, other is other one. So Bhagavan Krishna says, these are continuously we must do. You do means what is happening? We must be aware and we must offer that remember, become aware that this yajna is constantly going on. All yogis do this. Each perception they get, they observe, they dissolve it. They don't allow any sense stimuli to reach the mind. Because the sense stimuli reaches the mind, it agitates the mind. So is it suppression? No. Not a suppression. Then what? It is the voluntarily involved. Whenever you involve voluntarily, it cannot be called as suppression. You wanted to, you don't want that stimuli to disturb you. You want to control it. You want to control it of your choice. You are rejecting it. You are not allowing it. It's called suppression. And another case of is you don't have a, suppose in some case, for example, and I never smoked in my life. No smoke, no drink, etc. But I don't get a thought also to smoke. So can you come and tell me, Swamiji, please don't suppress the thought of smoking? I'm not suppressing it. I have given up or I don't have the desire. I voluntarily gave, suppose I'm already a smoker, but I voluntarily gave up. It can't be called as suppression. You say Samyamagni, Indriyagni. So Krishna says, this is how these yajnas can be done in every day. And some other people offer some other yajna. Sarvani Indriyani, Sarvani Indriya Karmani, Prana Karmani Chapare, Atma Samyama Yogagno Jupati Jnana Deepate. This we can take up. That is Shloka number 27 in our next class. Next class, I think it falls on December 3rd Saturday. Okay. So December 3rd Saturday, we will not have class. December 3rd. Because that is Geeta Jayanti day. I request all those who are in Noida to come in the morning. You will get a message. Participate in all 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita chanting without fail. Saturday, holiday for most of you, no working day. And that is also the day of our Paramaguru, Swami Tapovan Maharaj's Janma Jayanti, birthday. So we worship Tapovanji also. On that day we invoke Sri Tapovan Maharaj. And also we chant all 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So we will not have on December 3rd, 2022, no class will be held. So next class will be on 10th December 2022, where we will start from verse number 27. So here I conclude for today. Okay. Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om Sadgurunath Maharaj ki jai. Thank you all. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om.
Thank you, Swamiji, for the class today. And we sign off here now. Those who are attending Atmabodha class every Sunday, 10 o'clock sharp, please join us tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow. Till then, Hari Om. Pranams, everybody. Pranams, Swamiji.